What if being Captain America no longer meant saving everyone, but choosing who has to be lost? I kept coming back to this idea while thinking about Avengers Doomsday because for the first time in the MCU, Captain America isn't Steve Rogers anymore, it's Sam Wilson. And that changes everything. Steve carried the shield as a symbol of hope, something almost untouchable, like a promise that no matter how bad things got, he would always find a way to save everyone. But Sam lives in a different world, a heavier world, a more complicated one. And the more I started connecting the dots, the more I realized that Doomsday might not just be about a massive threat, but about forcing Sam into a decision that breaks the very idea of Captain America itself. I started thinking about how Marvel has been quietly reshaping what heroism looks like in the multiverse saga. It's not as clean anymore. There are no perfect outcomes. Every victory feels like it comes with a cost. And Sam Wilson represents that shift perfectly. He didn't take the serum. He doesn't have superhuman strength. What he has is perspective, empathy, and a deep understanding of what symbols mean to people. But what happens when that symbol becomes a burden? What happens when the shield itself becomes the thing that stands in the way of saving the universe? That's where this theory starts getting intense. Because Doomsday, by its very name, suggests a scenario where everything is on the line. Not just Earth, not just one timeline, everything. And if we look at how Marvel has been escalating stakes with the multiverse, it's clear that future conflicts won't be solved by simply punching the villain harder. They're going to require sacrifices, real ones, the kind that leave scars. And I think Sam Wilson is going to be at the center of one of the most painful sacrifices we've ever seen. I began imagining a scenario where the Avengers are faced with an impossible choice. Something like a collapsing multiverse event, or a reality-breaking weapon that can only be stopped under very specific conditions. Maybe it requires a focal point, a symbol, something that anchors the Avengers' legacy across timelines. And that's where the shield comes in. Because Captain America's shield isn't just a weapon anymore, it's an idea, it's history, it's hope. And in a twisted way, it might be the key to saving everything, or the reason everything falls apart. Now here's where it gets really interesting. What if the solution to stopping the catastrophe requires the destruction of that symbol, not just physically breaking the shield, but erasing what it represents from existence? Imagine a scenario where the multiverse is collapsing because certain fixed points icons that exist across realities are causing instability. And Captain America is one of those fixed points. The shield exists in countless universes. It's a constant. And in Doomsday, that constant might become a threat. I started connecting this idea to Sam specifically, because unlike Steve, Sam chose to become Captain America in a world that questioned him. He had to fight for that identity. He had to redefine it. And that makes his relationship with the shield far more personal. It's not just something he inherited, it's something he earned. Which means that if he's forced to destroy it, or give it up, or let it be erased, it's not just a tactical decision, it's deeply emotional. It's identity-shattering. And then I thought about the kind of leader Sam is becoming. He's not a soldier following orders. He's someone who listens, who understands the human cost of every decision. So if he's placed in a situation where saving the universe means sacrificing the symbol of Captain America, he's not going to take that lightly. He's going to question it. He's going to look for another way. But what if there isn't one? What if Doomsday is designed specifically to eliminate every alternative? That's when the theory really clicked for me. Because this wouldn't just be about Sam making a hard choice. It would be about redefining what Captain America stands for in a modern context. Steve Rogers represented unwavering idealism, but Sam Wilson might represent something else entirely: the courage to make impossible decisions, even when they go against everything the symbol was supposed to mean. I can picture a moment in the film where everything comes to a standstill. The Avengers are divided. Some of them believe the symbol must be preserved at all costs. Others understand the necessity of sacrifice. And Sam is caught in the middle, holding the shield, feeling its weight, not just physically, but emotionally. And in that moment, he realizes that being Captain America isn't about protecting the symbol, it's about protecting the people, no matter the cost. But here's the painful twist. What if saving the universe doesn't just require losing the shield? What if it requires losing the identity altogether? I started thinking about how powerful it would be if Sam had to step away from being Captain America entirely. Not because he failed, but because the world, or the multiverse, no longer needs the symbol in the same way. Or worse, because the symbol itself has become dangerous. This could lead to a moment where Sam willingly gives up the mantle. Not out of defeat, but out of responsibility. And that's something Steve Rogers never had to do under these circumstances. Steve passed on the shield as a legacy. Sam might have to let it go as a sacrifice. And that difference changes everything about how we view the character. I also started considering how this decision would impact the rest of the Avengers, because Captain America has always been the moral center of the team, the compass. If Sam chooses to destroy or abandon the shield, it sends a message that even the strongest symbols aren't immune to change, that sometimes holding on to the past can be more dangerous than letting it go. And that ties perfectly into the larger themes of the multiverse saga. It's all about change, about breaking cycles, about letting go of what once defined reality. So having Captain America of all people be the one to make that call feels incredibly fitting. It's not just a character moment, it's a thematic statement. The more I thought about it, the more I realized how emotional this could be if done right. Imagine Sam standing alone, holding the shield for the last time, reflecting on everything it represents. Steve, the Avengers, the battles, the hope, and then making the choice to let it go. Not because he wants to, but because he has to. Because that's what being Captain America means now. And that's the key difference. Steve Rogers inspired people by showing them that good always wins. Sam Wilson might inspire people by showing them that doing the right thing isn't always clean or easy. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes it costs you everything, and sometimes being a hero means giving up the very thing that made you one. I think Doomsday has the potential to deliver one of the most powerful character arcs in the MCU if it leans into this idea. Not just a big spectacle, but a deeply personal story about leadership, responsibility, and sacrifice. Because at the end of the day, the most painful decisions are the ones where there's no perfect answer, only consequences. And when I bring all these clues together, it paints a picture of a Captain America who isn't defined by a shield, but by his choices. A hero who understands that symbols can inspire, but they can also limit. And in a world on the brink of collapse, breaking that symbol might be the only way to save it. So if this theory turns out to be even partially true, we're not just watching another Avengers movie, we're watching the evolution of what it means to be Captain America, from a symbol of hope to a symbol of sacrifice. And honestly, that might be the most heroic thing of all. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.